Hi Brad, what's up gang? So y'all know how I normally like to have conversations with y'all about what spirit reveals to me in private. So last night, really I would say for like it's been on and off, but like I don't know if y'all ever heard of the witch's hour, but it is real. That's normally around like 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock. And it can last up to like a good 5 or 6. But you know what? Now that I think about it, y'all, oh wow. I noticed that like most of my paranoia and fearful thoughts, they normally occur between the hours of 11 at night, and I only feel better around like 4 or 5 something in the morning. And I feel like in a way that was spirit trying to get my attention this whole time. Like, hey, because the emotion that I do pay attention to the most is my fear. So, a lot of times I guess spirit comes in the form of what will trigger us the most, So, with me noticing that I'll get very fearful and riled up and very energetic also at nighttime, it kind of causes me to really look within, because around that time my daughter's asleep, my sister's asleep, so that's when it's just me, and I uploaded a video about when we're alone, that's when spirit communicates. So yeah, I just experienced a lot of anxiety and stuff between like the hours of 11 to 4 or 5. And it's like something about when the sunlight comes up, I feel relieved, So I will say there are energies at play at nighttime. That's why it's very important that we do pray before we sleep, protect our energy field. And something else that I'll add to that is that, I don't know if y'all knew or not, but trees, they give off oxygen only in the daytime, and at nighttime they give off carbon dioxide, and it's actually quite dangerous. And it's like things shift at nighttime. So yeah, I would say that's like the best time to pray, the best time to tap into your magical gifts, the best time to talk to spirit, talk to God, the universe, the best time to ask your questions, But something that I wanted to talk to you guys that spirit revealed to me is that, particularly to my people with children in particular, it's like in a way we were blessed with children so that we could heal some type of childhood wound of our own, and to be that figure or that parent or that change that we did not have and that we expected, And honestly, when spirit showed me that, I was just looking at my babies and I was crying, and I was just like, oh my goodness, like y'all are the young versions of me. And it's like, I don't know, it's like when life goes by, we pick up habits, we lose faith, we lose trust in humans, we lose that joyfulness, we lose that childlike innocence. It's not that we lose these things, it's just we fall out of touch with them. We start to take on this armor and these coping mechanisms to get us through adulthood, or for some of us to get us through like dangerous situations and things of that nature, And in attempts to survive, we step out of our natural element of who we are when we're actually living and being ourselves, And honestly, I found myself asking spirit to show me today how I can cleanse my spirit, how I can, like restart, because once again, as the years go by, as the traumatic experiences go by, we are not the same. Like everybody watching this video, you can testify and say you are not who you were in your younger pictures. That's why a lot of times when people look at pictures of themselves when they were kids, they start to cry because we miss that side of us. We miss that carefree, joyful, looking forward to life, smiling and playing and laughing for no reason, you know. But now we're all stressed out. You know, that made me think of that song, to the good old days. What I want would say, you're still sleeping now. I don't know the lyrics to it, but it's about how we were carefree in our younger days, you know. But as time goes on, it's like all the stresses of this life, all that's expected of us, all of what we're having to cope with, it changes us and we're not the same, you know. And something else that Spirit showed me was that my children are, like, I was saying to myself, like, oh wow, like I was staring at my children like, oh wow, I used to be them. And Spirit was like, no, you are them. Like, this is your true nature. That's you. Like, right now, that's you. But that side of you is covered. That side of you is buried underneath this exterior, underneath this baggage. You know, that's my true nature. You know, and once again, it's like we just develop into these people that we are today just to survive, just to get by, just to, you know, protect ourselves, just to, you know, stay in control of things, you know. And it's like having to get back in touch with that kitty side. It's actually crazy because I wrote a list out. Like, I took my sister's advice, one of my sister's advice. She told me to write out my pros and cons, and I did that before, but I did it again. But this time, I did something a little different. This time, when I wrote out my cons, I labeled that my shadow self, my shadow side. And after I labeled that my shadow side, I gave her a name and everything, I wrote a letter to her. And I would read it to y'all. I don't know, I might make a different video. I'm gonna be crying, so it's very emotional. I actually went back and read it, I think 2 more times, and I cried each time. So it's very emotional. It brings out a lot of different feelings within me. But I was basically just letting my shadow self know, like, I know who you are. I knew who you were before you became this person. I've seen you. Like, I know who you are, you know, but you have your reasons. Things have happened. And it's like, that's what molded you. That's what shaped you. And I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to love you and understand you and work with you because you are me. You're a part of me, you know. And it was just really emotional. I might read it to y'all in another video. But just empathizing with that side of me who had to survive, empathizing with that side of me who had to grow too fast, empathizing with that side of me who was mistreated and, like, in return is very, like, tough and closed off and not trusting, just very understanding and empathetic towards that part of me, you know. And just letting that side of me know, like, I know who you truly are, you know. I don't know why I keep telling y'all, but it reminds me of the movie Moana. If you've never seen Moana, like, what are you doing with your life? You know, and I advise everybody to go look at the movie Moana. Yes, it's a kid's film, but if you, like, really listen to what's being said, if you listen to the songs that's being played in the background, the one that sticks to me the most is when she was looking at the angry, the shadow side of Te-Fiti. You know, Te-Fiti, she was very loving, very gentle, very kind, very abundant, very soft, very feminine, but her heart was stolen by the demigod Maui, or is it Maui? I keep saying Maui, but anyways, so another side of her emerged, and it was Taka. And when I tell you Taka was, ooh, but Taka, she was basically like lava. She was like stone and just very hard and angry and, just very angry, But the little girl Moana, which I consider her to be our inner child, she went up to Taka. She should have been absolutely terrified, because Taka, when I tell you, that woman was angry, that woman was bitter, that woman was hurt, But Moana went up to her fearlessly to restore her heart, and while she was walking up to Taka, she was singing a song saying, "That's not who you are. I know your name," and that just goes to show that we still have that childlike innocence. It's just in a way, as time wears on, as traumatic events hit us left or right, we lose family members, we go through hardships, we go through heartbreaks for some of us, and it really does toughen us. It creates this shell over who we truly are, which are very kind and loving and trusting people, like the children that we have. And for some of y'all who don't have children, maybe you have nieces and nephews, but you see how children are. They play with each other, they laugh, they share their toys. Some of them don't like to share them. But I call that the only child syndrome. But children, they're just sweet, and they don't have the thoughts like, oh, I'm scared to trust you because I don't know if you're gonna like. Children don't think like that. It's not until they go through a traumatic experience that causes them to question that innocent part of themselves. Like, we're not born with trust issues. We're not born not wanting to be loved. We're not born being angry and bitter towards people. We're not born being, very mean or very rude, very harmful. We're not born heartless, y'all. We're not born this way. That shows you that something has happened that caused us to respond, and we felt like that response was the best way to treat that threat. And so we continue to, automatically, we don't know that we're doing it, but we develop that response as our personality, as our character, as the way that we actually carry ourselves. So we carry ourselves as people that, are hard body or closed off or heartless and careless and savage, stuff like that. That's not who we are. That's not who Spirit created us to be, So it's like the constant battle between who we truly are and who we have, that character that we've developed to survive, And I've seen it all too many times with people just in general, including myself, to where, maybe even romantically before, maybe you started out very loving, very open, very kind, very affectionate, get your heart broken. Now it's just like, F that bitch, or F these niggas, and that's not how we truly feel, but we say it so much that we start to believe, oh, I really don't want to be loved. And that's what we're telling ourselves. Each time a guy says, F these bees, he's saying, I don't, it's subconsciously, he's saying, I don't want to be loved. And that's not the truth. Every human being on this planet is loved and needs to be surrounded by love. None of us are designed to be alone, but it's like we go through these traumatic situations and we develop a very fractured mindset. We develop very very hard mentalities, in a way, in an attempt to protect ourselves. You know, it's to protect ourselves. It's like, I don't want to get my heart broken again, so I'm not going to trust anybody anymore. I'm not going to give my love to anybody anymore. I'm not going to open up anymore. You know? And what we don't do is, by us doing that, we're sabotaging our chances of actually, you know, finding the right person, because we are walking around with an image that's not even truly us, you know? So it's like the only way to get back to that inner child, which is pretty much mentioned in the Bible as well. Only those who've been born again can enter into the kingdom of God or whatever, you know. It's like that state of peace, that state of bliss, that state of joy is within all of us, you know. Our true nature, our true highest self has always been with us. It's just we're disconnected from it because we're too busy living in this image of this person, this character that we had to create to survive. You know, all the gangster rappers and all the women that's talking about, you know, fuck their niggas and stuff like that. That is a character. That's not that person's true nature. We all were born in love and in innocence. You know, babies need love, not want love. Babies need love. They need warmth. They need touch. They need to be held. And as adults, nothing changes. Our needs do not change. We don't go from, oh, you're a baby, so you need love, to an adult, oh, I don't need that nigga. Like, we don't go from needing oxygen to not needing oxygen anymore. You know, same principles apply with love. You know, everything we needed as a child, which is shelter, food, transportation, love, attention, warmth, to be held, to be watched, to be guided. We still need those things as adults, but we get the big head and we get cocky and we get arrogant, thinking, oh, I don't need that anymore. I don't need guidance anymore. I'm grown. I don't need love. I can love myself, which to some degree is true. But that principality, it still exists. That fact still exists. Everything we needed as a child, we still need it moving forward. You know, and it takes us to admit that as stubborn adults. You know, it takes us admitting that and putting our ego to the side, you know, and also unlearning all of the coping mechanisms, taking off the armor, unraveling the fractured mental processing of information that we, you know, have developed. Like, I don't know why that just made me think about a machine, to where if the machine was working well at first, and then like something may have happened to it and somebody try to like nigga rig it and it's like it's still functioning but it's not functioning properly, okay? Like something is still wrong with it but it's functioning, but it's not functioning to its highest proper, you know, way, you know. That's how I would describe us. And it's crazy, y'all, because me and one of my other sisters, outside of the one who told me about writing out my pros and cons, we were talking about how a phone, what did she say? A phone is like our mind, you know? And that just made me think, like, a phone can function well, but like, imagine if you take it somewhere to where like a person, they don't really know what they're doing, and they just like throw it together or something like that. It'll continue to function, you know, but the underlying issue is still going to exist, you know, until a professional like my sister, you know, who knows what they're doing and they can actually go in there, fix it correctly to where it's functioning how it's supposed to, you know. But yeah, it's like we think that just because we're breathing and getting by and getting through the day, that nothing is wrong with us. We really think it's normal to not trust. We really think it's normal to say, I don't need a man, or I don't need love. We really think that's normal. That's like saying we don't need oxygen. And everybody who likes their life would gladly say that we need oxygen. That's not a need that changes, you know? But after a while, and that's something else that, wait, baby, here, it's empty. Go get your cup. But, I almost lost my train of thought. That's why it's kind of difficult for me to do these videos with my girls. When I respond to them, it's like my brain, it resets, and I'm just like, okay, what was on my mind? But, yeah, it's just our needs don't change overnight. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna tell y'all. So I was talking to one of my sisters, and I was like, sometimes we go so long without something and we really convince ourselves like, okay, well, maybe I am fine without it. Maybe I don't need that. Maybe I don't want that, you know? And it's like a coping mechanism. Like, if I'm never going to get it, I might as well be okay with it. And taking it back to childhood, you know, if as a child you did not receive the proper attention, the proper protection, the proper love, the proper affection, the proper warmth, you know, or shelter, some way or another, it's like for us to adjust to that change, adjust to that threat, adjust to that lack. We convince ourselves like, okay, well, if I went this long without it, maybe I'm okay. And you know, to some degree, that's true. That's like if I lose my hairbrush and if I can go like 2 years without it, surely I'm fine without it. But that's superficial. It's not anything important. It's material. We can go without material things, cool. But there are things in this world that we absolutely do need to like thrive as human beings. You know, I don't know why that just made me think about guinea pigs, but something I learned about guinea pigs is that you can't just buy one guinea pig, and if you do, they're they have a very, very high chance of dying, you know. Also, that could be linked to, there's this article that I was reading about people who are in isolation. They tend to battle with sickness more than people who socialize, and things of that nature. I don't know if y'all ever heard an older couple, if one of them passes away, is very much likely, if that other person does not have a support system in place or other sources of love, is very likely that that person passes away as well, not too far behind them. That happened with my grandmother and my grandfather, you know. And even when I worked in an independent living facility, I cannot tell y'all how many couples have passed away together. Like it was, they move in and it's just them two. That's their source of love, their source of comfort, their source of company. And once that's snatched away from them, that person, not even, I'll give it a good 2-3 months, they end up passing away as well. And I saw that far too many times, you know. And that goes to show y'all that we absolutely do need human contact. We absolutely do need love. We absolutely do need touch and to socialize. And that's coming from me, y'all. I'm Miss Independent, okay? I'm Miss Independent. And I also am not really big on dealing with people, you know. So for Spirit to show me that, the most independent of them all, okay? Like, for Spirit to show me that, you know, and for me to be able to admit out of my own mouth, like, I do need love. The same thing I give to my babies. Like, it's just like, what sense in what world would it make sense for me to give my baby something that I don't need? feed my babies, but I don't eat breakfast. Give my babies water, but I don't need water. Give my babies baths, but I don't need baths. It's like everything I give my children, I think that's another reason why Spirit blessed me with children, for many reasons. But honestly, I did not properly love and take care of and provide for myself until I had children. I'm like, okay, y'all need shelter. So I ended up blessing myself with shelter in the process. Like, y'all need transportation. I ended up needing transportation in the process too. And the way that I hold my babies, love my babies, talk to them, things of that nature, I'm like, oh wow, am I getting this in my own personal life? And if I'm not, how can I fix that? How can I make up for that? How can I get that in my own personal life? Because if I'm looking at a child and I'm like, you need these things, I have to also nurture the inner child within me and get her those things as well. Because I don't know, maybe the adult in me is like, I don't need no me. I don't need da. But at the end of the day, I still have an inner child and she has needs. And it's selfish, and it would be selfish of me to deny her of how she feels and what she needs. So y'all, Spirit be showing me stuff that like it blows my socks off, and I don't even really be wearing socks like that, y'all. Like, I wear sandals. Like, I'm a sandals girl. But it's just we have to always humble ourselves in the spirit of Yahweh, and the spirit of God, and the spirit of life, the spirit of the universe. And always remember, we are the character that we developed as an adult. But at the end of the day, we are still children. We are still, for some of us, unhealed children who did not have certain needs met. And it's our job as adults to nurture that child inside of us. The same way we nurture our children and, spoil them sometimes and rub their little bellies and cuss them out sometimes. Sometimes we need to give ourselves them pep talks. They do come in handy. But, it's like the same way we would treat a child, we have to remember we have an inner child within us. And once again, I'll tell you, the Spirit corrected me because I was looking at my children, I was crying. I was like, oh wow, y'all are who I used to be. I used to be a baby. I used to be a child. I used to be a 3-year-old. The Spirit's like, no, you still are. You still are my baby. You still, like, you will, like, I'm trying not to cry, but Spirit had to humble me and let me know, like, you still my baby. Like, I still have to take care of you from inside of you, but you're still a child, So that just humbled me, and it just made me realize a lot, and put the puzzle pieces together. And something else I will say is if we truly didn't need something, we wouldn't be so badly affected by not having it. Perfect case example, let's say, for instance, if you grew up in a household to where maybe you didn't receive much attention or affection. Okay, you go on through life, you think, I ain't need no attention, affection anyway, I'm good, it is what it is. But now you're struggling in relationships, or you still have that sadness or that anger with you that you may not be acknowledging. It's just like, okay, if you really didn't need that, why does it upset you when you think about your childhood? Why would you rather not talk about your childhood? What is it that you're avoiding? Why do you feel so uncomfortable with this topic? Why is it bothering you? If you didn't need it, it's like if somebody took away like a strand of my hair right now, I wouldn't be bothered. I wouldn't look back at it. I would be unfazed. But if you take when things from us, like things in our lives that we truly value, sometimes we don't even know that we value it until we don't have it. And I feel like in a way, maybe that's why so many people on this planet have experienced a lack of love, a lack of touch, a lack of attention and warmth from a parent or from whatever the caregiver was. to show us the value of these things. Because if we were born into love, if we were born into, constant affection and things of that nature, we may not truly 100% understand the beauty and the true value of it. I feel like in a way we would probably be a little bit ungrateful. That's why I kind of get a little irritated by people who are spoiled like adults, and they're spoiled by their parents, or their parents do everything for them, and they're always at their beck and call, and then the parent try to get in touch with that adult, and the adult don't want to talk to them. I really despise people like that, because I'm like, you don't understand how blessed you are to have your parents want to talk to you every day. You don't know how blessed you are to, I don't know, just some people are blessed in ways that it irritates me, because they don't see how big of an impact what they're receiving truly is. There's some people on this planet, they real life don't want to hear from their parents. Parents call, they hang up on them, because they feel like their parents is bugging them. And you got people like me, I desperately want to hear from my parents every day, and it just, that type of stuff bugs me, but I feel like in a way that may be why spirit, be careful. That may be why spirit deprives some of us of certain things, so as adults we can value those things, and take them serious, but I just wanted to share that with y'all. But this character that we've developed, like, this literally all this is. It's a character. This isn't our true nature. We're still little children. The same way you look at a little child and they walk around with their little diaper on and their big belly, they please don't fall. And they smiling, they laughing, making messes and stuff. It's like, that's us. That's us. But it's like the battle between this character that we formed, our ego, and our true nature, our true self, Yeah. And our true self, a lot of times when we think about our true self, our highest self, we think about some grown up entity. I'm just now realizing it. But it's the complete opposite, y'all. Our true self, our highest self, is our most childlike self. Our carefree self. When we're kids, we're confident, we walk around, spill stuff, and just knock stuff over, and we're confident, we're happy, we're joyful, we're carefree, we're, imaginative, So that's our true highest self. But this whole time we had it backwards, y'all. We was thinking, oh, my highest self, she's in her 20s or her 30s or her 40s, 50s, and she's doing this. No. Our true self at its highest vibration is who we were at birth. The energy that we embodied at birth. Pure, innocent, curious, That's our true self right there. Hey. So that's why when my daughters are trying to play with me, a lot of times my character, she kicks in, my shadow self, and she just like, I ain't finna play with y'all kids, I ain't got the energy, I'm too grown for this, da 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 da. But it's like my children are in my life to remind me that I'm still a child. There's still a child inside of me, and to humble myself, in the presence of an angel, But, yeah, y'all, that's pretty much it, though. I just wanted to share that with y'all. Yeah. It's our job to get back in touch with our roots, our true self. Who were we before the trauma? Who were we before the lack of attention? Who were we before the lack of affection? Who were we before the disappointment? Who were we before the heartbreak? Who were we before the divorce? Before the separation? Before all of those things? Who were we? And how can we tap back into that image of us? Because we all were created in Spirit's image, in God's image. You know, we were created a certain way, but it's like these challenges that we've gone through in this lifetime, that image kind of gets distorted somewhere along the way. I don't know why that just made me think about the Bible, how the Bible may have said something in one way and meant something in one way, but it was distorted along the lines. I don't know where that just came from, but yeah, it's our job to tap back into that inner child energy, tap back into that innocence, tap back into that purity, tap back into that creativeness, that joyfulness, that confidence, that carefreeness, tap back into that trust, tap back into that knowing that we are safe, that we're protected, like going back to that, going back to that feeling and embodying that. That's when we will be the closest to source. And we can find a way to get back to that, but it will require us unlearning certain things and all of that, and it's a process, because once again, we think we're grown and we have these coping mechanisms and we done deceived ourselves, thinking we don't need love, we don't need touch, we don't need attention, we don't need affection, we have been lying to ourselves for a really, really, really long time. And that's not good. That's not good. I don't know why that just made me think about also too, as a child, maybe if you didn't, if you weren't heard much, or if you didn't talk much, now you may be an introvert and you may think it's normal that you don't talk much. You may think it's normal that you don't express how you feel. And I'm here to tell you that's not normal. A child, it's their job to express themselves. Mommy, I'm hungry. Mommy, I'm thirsty. Mommy, this. Mommy, that. Mommy, I want to go to the park. Or daddy, that's normal. That's what's supposed to be happening. So after a while, once again, we develop these characteristics. We develop this character, and this character has us believing that how we are is the right way and that it makes sense. It wouldn't make sense for a child to be hungry and not say anything. That's not normal. It's not healthy. So we have to unlearn all these things that we taught ourselves and go back to a child. How does a child think? How does a child get their needs met? How does a child express their anger and things of that nature? And it's like adulthood in a way. It teaches us how to articulate our words. A child doesn't really know how to talk much or know what to say, how to say it. But as adults, we can learn that. It's like adulthood teaches us the knowledge behind our childlike innocence. So it's like, be a child, but now you have all the wisdom and the knowledge that you need to become whole and complete. Like, you still express the inner child, you still are the inner child, but you know how to articulate your words, you know what to look out for now, all of that, and the extra good thing about adulthood to tie into our inner child is like, okay, a child seeks to get its needs met, but with us being an adult or having that adult shadow self can come into play if and when that the inner child's needs are not being met by its externals. To put that into an example, let's say, for instance, if you're in a relationship or marriage, and you acknowledge, okay, I have an inner child. My inner child, she wants physical touch, or he wants physical touch. He wants to be held. She wants to be held. Okay, you can seek that from your partner, but if that partner is not able to provide you with that need, there's many ways to go about that. Conversation, compromising, negotiating. If you gotta look elsewhere, sometimes it's self-soothing, way of self-soothing. But I feel like if you're in a relationship or marriage, you should not have to self-soothe. Me personally, I don't think that's normal. I don't think that's, me personally, from my own personal experiences, I don't feel comfortable in a relationship where I have to make myself feel loved and make myself feel wanted. You know, oh, my lip ring just fell out my mouth, y'all. It's been happening like that for a while now. I don't know, I might just leave it out. I don't know. But it's just like adulthood, in a way, it helps us to choose those parents in a way within the people that we surround ourselves with. You know, if you were a child, would you want to choose parents that's not able to meet your needs, or would you want to choose parents that are able to? You know, and then applying that into the adult reality. I hope what I'm saying is making sense. But because in my mind it makes sense, so I hope somebody else can catch on to it that way. But just surrounding ourselves with people who remind us of those nurturing parents that we had or wish that we had, you know, and having that backup in adulthood within ourselves to fill that cup ourselves if they're not able to, or if they're busy, if they're not around, things of that nature, you know. So the independence, it does come into play, mostly specifically if you're not getting that anywhere else. You know, if you don't have anybody else around you protecting you, that's where your self-protector comes in. If you don't have anybody else around you to love you, that's where your self-love does come into play. Yes, you know, but also in adulthood, it's our job to make decisions, you know, for the inner child. So it's the adult making the decision on behalf of the inner child. So like, okay, are these people fit to be in your life? Are these people fit to be, like, quote unquote, that parent to you, to meet your needs that you need? Whether it's social needs, emotional needs, things of that nature. Because it's just like, if you can do it on your own, does it make sense to be around people that in no shape or form or barely can do it for you? Does that make sense, y'all? Does it make sense? Okay, I'll put it back in the form of relationship and marriage. If you're in a relationship and marriage and you're doing everything on your own, you're loving yourself, you're giving yourself attention, you're giving yourself affection, you're paying your own bills, you're doing everything for yourself, does it make sense to be in a relationship with that person? That's the question that I was really getting to, you know. So it's good that we have the adulthood, because it helps us in situations where if we're not able to get that around us, you know. But sometimes that can come with dead weight, you know. How it's mentioning, if you are doing it by yourself but you're surrounded by people, does it make sense? Or is that just dead weight, you know? Because sometimes we need motivation from people outside of us. Sometimes we may need emotional help from people outside of us, or attention, or love, warmth, touch. But if you're reaching out and you're not able to get that, does it make sense to have those people around? Or to surround yourself with people who can pour into your cup? Because sometimes after a while we run out of juices trying to pour into our own cup. Sometimes we do need outside, you know, assistance. And that's absolutely normal and absolutely fine, you know. But, yeah. So that comes along with the questions of who is helping us to nurture this inner child, and who in a way is just kind of like dead weight in a way, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's pretty much all that I have though, y'all. It's easy to put in though. That's like the only thing I don't really too much care for about these piercings. Is how easy that they come out. They come out real easy. So I don't know, y'all. I might just keep this one out. I'm gonna have a marker right here though, but it's not right. I just put my lipstick on. But anyways, yeah, that's all that I have though, y'all. Just know that you are loved, and it's good that we are adults and we can do for ourselves. But if you're surrounded by people and you're constantly doing for yourself, emotionally, mentally, financially, it's just like, if people around you aren't a help to you, if they're not helping to nurture that child around you, what are they doing instead? And it's like really something I want y'all to sit on, and me too. It's something to really sit on. Okay? But yeah, I'll go ahead and let you guys go. I hope this was an eye-opener for you guys. I hope you guys took something very important from here. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all go. I need to try to figure out how to put this back in my lip. And yeah, until next time, toodles. Oh no, y'all did me kisses. Okay, until next time, toodles.